Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Just going to give you a little update and show you how I'm going about building running boards for this pedal car. It's a Murray droop side from the early 30s, and I explained what was happening there in the last one, but I'll just show you what I've got done, what I'm working on here. So just give me a sec. Okay, so here's the first one I got done. This is the right-hand side. I had the left-hand side for a pattern. It's got these raised ribs in the running board. I've duplicated that the best I could, and the way I went about that is I took a piece of 3/8 steel plate. I cut it to the shape, the inside shape of the running board itself. This the left one here, so that it fits inside this perfectly. I then drilled a 1/16 hole at the where the start and end of each of the ribs is. Let's see if I can get one of these out of here. Pretty tight. Okay, so what I've got is a piece of 1/16 TIG welding rod that I bent to fit in each of these sets of holes. Gives me my contour for the raised ribs. What I've done is I drilled all the way through so that I can put a set of wires on the other side and make the opposite side. So to do this, I needed, this is the male part of the mold for pressing them. And then I took a piece of really hard wood. It's teak, and I transferred the holes from my metal piece to the teak so that they're a mirror image. Once I did that, using a straight edge and a die grinder, I ran these slots in here, the receptacles for the 1/16 wire, cleaned them all up nice with sandpaper, got a nice radius in them. Then I took my two pieces and I cut out a piece of 20 gauge steel into the shape. It's a 1/4 of an inch bigger around, all the way around, to allow for the bend, the 90-degree bend over that goes on the apron here. So then I took these and a whole bunch of scrap from laying around in piles. I don't have a press, so I had to build a makeshift press. And what I do is I take my two pieces with the piece of steel sandwiched in between, have a piece of 1-inch thick block that I put on top to spread the load. I then take an 8-ton jack, put it in there, and I load it up until the jack bypasses. And I have to leave it in there for about 10 minutes and give this plates a tap every once in a while for it to put the grooves, the raised ribs into the running board. So 16,000 pounds of pressure isn't enough to do that. So I would imagine probably looking at about 20 tons of force it would take to be able to push those ribs into there in one swoop. So once I have that done, I take the pieces out. I break the 3/4 inch rib on the back. That's the part that mounts it to the side of the car. This is the wrong side here, but where it gets bolted to the framework. Then I take my two pieces and I hold on here like this. They're all sandwiched together. Clamp them in the vise real tight, and then I can peen this edge over all the way around. And I'm going to show that on the next video. I did this without any cutting or pie cuts or anything in this steel. If you go really slowly, you can work it all together, and what it does is it compresses the molecules of the steel and makes it thicker in the corners here. I showed the same process when I was doing the defroster duct on the Dodge. This one here is pretty easy. You end up with a couple of little puckers. You really have to be careful that you don't fold those over when you go, if you go too fast there. So I'll bring you guys back once I get a little bit closer along in the progress here. Okay, here we have the jig all set up. I've got my piece with the welding rods in it, my piece of tin, my piece of teak, which is the female portion of the press mold. I've got some stiffeners underneath this to support this tubing. That 1/4 inch wall tubing didn't have enough strength in it, and it just deflected. So I've got it sitting here with probably 8-ton jack, so probably about 16,000 pounds pushing down on it. Once I let that sit for a bit, I'll take it out. I will trim my female part of the jig, and I'll show you the bucking process for folding the bottom edge of the running board over here. Okay, so here we have the two pieces lined up in the jig. I've got my steel backer on the back side, my teak female part on the front side. Got it clamped in really tight, and what I've done is started bending it over. Just see if I can get the tripod set up here in the right spot. This might be a little bit loud. Okay, so using my body hammer, I'm going to slowly tap on this corner, and you're going to see it's starting to get some ripples in it. The more I fold it around, the more the ripples are going to get. What you have to do is make sure that it doesn't fold over on itself, and just keep tapping. And what it's going to do is it's going to bunch all those molecules together, thickening the steel and forming this curve. Just going to go to a different hammer. As you can see, while I'm hammering on it, when it goes in here, it pushes up here, and you just keep going back and forth. As you can see, it went from 2 ripples to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you keep tapping on it, So I've got it about 99% there now. Okay, so just bring you in here for a little bit closer shot. As you can see, it has folded this around nice and smooth. There's no overlaps. What it's done with the extra material is force it out the bottom. But once I have the entire panel peened over, then I can take my grinder and make this all in a nice even batch there. So I'll be back after I finish beating on this thing. Just wanted to bring you in for one last look. So as you can see, we have the tin is folded over all the way around. Got a little bit of a pucker here that I can work out yet. And then I can remove it from the jig, and that'll be my second running board. So next on the agenda, we'll be getting the buck made for the fenders. Can't even think of what I'm saying. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back with another one here soon.